Hello everyone and welcome to this new video. Today we talk about the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5DS manga. The Yu-Gi-Oh! 5DS manga is a spin-off of its anime series. Like the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX manga, the events that take place, as well as the cards used by characters differ from those in the anime. Let's start by talking about the internal power system of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5DS, Sense. Sense is the sensation inflicted on an opponent when they take damage in a duel. It not only damages duelist, but also the environment, materializing monsters' attack from solid vision. Sense depends on three things, mainly speed, distance and timing. Sense is able to KO other people if it is strong enough. There is also another variant of Sense, called Shadow Sense, which we will talk about later. Let's start scaling Yusei. Yusei, Fudo, and Jack Atlas Sense is basically the same, even if Yusei's one is slightly stronger, so what I will say for him upscales Jack and vice versa. Very early in the manga, Yusei in the duel against Bowman gets hit by multiple bombs from his monster, some even creating a small crater on the ground, which scales to at least small building level. Later during the battle against Seth, a character which we will talk about later, Yusei surpasses this very feat, creating a giant sphere of energy. Let's calculate its size. Let's assume that this house we see near the Sense sphere is between 2, 4 and 3 meters high, which is the average height of a small house with one floor only. Doing a quick proportion, we find that this sphere should have a diameter of 14 times the house. Doing some calculations, we find that it has a diameter between 33.6 and 42 meters in diameter, which according to the easy-to-use reference list of the VS Battle Wiki, should scale to building level. Take what I say with a grain of salt though, as I'm not very good at doing calculations like this. Also at the end of the duel between Yusei and Bomber is hit by Yusei's Sense and thrown away. This is interesting because the force of the impact is so great that it creates a shockwave that spreads throughout the stadium. Considering the size of the stadium, this is an impressive feat, but I'm not sure how it scales, but likely around city block level. There is also a similar feat performed by Yusei and Seth together. During their duel, the two clash their Sense, creating a huge pillar of light. This could also be used to scale Yusei more consistently to city block level. We also know that Yusei is stronger than Seth, who by winning the duel against Akiza starts the ritual for the summoning of the ultimate god, which begins with a solar eclipse. It is unclear if it was Seth who moved the moon by winning, but if so, both he and Yusei would scale to moon level. Let's move to speed for a moment. We do not have too much info on this as it is never stated how fast the D-wheels move, and unlike the anime, we never have higher type of speed-related powers. We will see that in the upcoming Yu-Gi-Oh! 5DS anime scaling. There is anyway one feat that help us scaling their speed, which is Yusei moving so fast that blitzed Seth. There is very little info on this feat sadly, but according to VSBW, this would scale Yusei speed to bare minimum subsonic. Well, having said that, we can move on to somewhat more serious matters. Jack Atlas mentions in one scene that there are an infinite number of possibilities, and that every second a universe is born. If this were true, then the cosmology of the 5DS manga would be multiversal plus. The problem is that Jack is not a reliable source, and there is no real evidence to support this statement. It should be noted, however, that the theme of infinite parallel universes is taken up several times in the other Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga, which is why I am inclined to believe that this statement is true. Now let's talk about the being that the whole series revolves around. The Ultimate God, also called Ultimaya Tloskin in its first stage, or Ultimittlbishbalkin in the second. Ultimaya is a supreme being apparently dormant inside the flying fortress Siebel, from which all the cards are said to come. This would include in particular all the dragons of the duels. A sentient sky dragon, who is said to be the cause of all phenomena, is therefore part of Ultimaya, and also Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, who is said to be able to burn heaven and earth, upscaling it. Ultimaya does not stop there, and is in fact said to be the origin and pinnacle of everything, and this is supported by the fact that it is able to control the laws of nature. Not only that, but Godwin also states that the strength itself is a gift of Ultimaya. All of this supports the idea that Ultimaya is a conceptual and not physical being. I said before that the ultimate god was trapped in the Sibyl fortress, but this is contradicted by the fact that after Yusei defeats him, his body is destroyed, but he continues to exist. Godwin actually supports this view, as Ultimaya is said to be formless and that it descends from a dimension of chaos. Remember that we are talking about a transcendent being, and that it is nothing other than the darkness itself, which is to be kept in mind for future videos. Given all this, I think that the true form of Ultimaya Tloskin can be scaled to low complex multiversal, on a lowball, or outerversal. The second option, however, makes more sense if we include other elements from the other series, such as the fact that the dimensionality is defined in the series, which we know to be canon. However, we will not deal with this scaling now, as I am researching all the other series. The point is that Yusei does not scale to Ultimaya. It is not generally clear how strong Yusei is, but various interpretations can be proposed, in addition to those already given. The ones I find best are, however: Option 1. Planetary and moon level, Yusei is stronger than the physical manifestation of the ultimate god, who can move the moon and probably threaten the entire world. Option 2. Universal plus, since Yusei hits Ultimaya so hard that his power passes through space-time. Also, by beating Ultimaya he should scale to the god of the ritual, mentioned only once, but in the Duality Festival it should be either Ultimaya or its opposite, who is seen as capable of changing history, altering it at will. Arguments could be made for higher scalings, but I don't feel like considering them valid, at least without scaling the other series and the cosmology of the verse first. Last note, Jack Atlas should be related to Yusei and Seth as seen from the series finale. That said, I thank everyone for the attention, and I refer you to the next video. Bye bye.